The second the college entrance exams were over, Chase Sterling, the hottest guy in school, the one I'd been crushing on for 2 freaking years, suddenly confessed he was into me. I was about to lean in and kiss him when a barrage of comments popped into my head like a damn livestream. Ugh, stay away from the male lead, you side piece. Can't you see he's cringing? So gross. LOL, does this girl actually think Chase likes her? He's just doing this to make Bailey jealous. Once she apologizes and begs him back, he'll dump her so fast. Yeah, and later, to reassure Bailey, Chase will bankrupt the side chick's family, so she can never return to this town. Karma. Forced love never works. She'll learn that soon enough. I smirked, feeling Chase pull back slightly. Immediately, I grabbed the collar of his polo and kissed him square on the mouth. Who cares if it's forced? I'm gonna taste this melon before anyone else does. Chase's eyes went wide as fuck when my lips crashed into his. For a split second, I felt him freeze, that half second of what the actual hell that guys get when you flip the script on them. But then? Oh, then his hand came up to cup the back of my head, fingers threading through my hair, and he kissed me back like he meant it. The barrage of comments in my head went absolutely apeshit. Girl, what are you doing? This is not how the script goes. Abort. Abort. Okay, but, damn, that's kinda hot though. The side chick is supposed to hesitate and then he leaves her hanging. This is all wrong. Plot deviation detected. Calculating new trajectory. I pulled back just enough to catch my breath, my hand still fisted in his collar. Chase looked dazed, his perfect hair messed up from my fingers, lips slightly swollen. He blinked at me like I'd just sucker punched him. What? He started. Save it, I cut him off, letting go of his shirt and smoothing it down with exaggerated care. I know what this is. His jaw tightened. Oh yeah? Enlighten me. The comments were going nuts again. Oh, she's gonna call him out. This is it, this is where she gets all emotional and ruins everything. No wait, I think she's playing him. Yes, queen, make him sweat. I gave him my best shit-eating grin. You're trying to make Bailey Thornton jealous. I get it. She dumped your ass after prom, and your ego can't handle it. So here I am, convenient, available, pathetically crushing on you for 2 years. Perfect rebound material. Chase's expression went through about 5 different emotions in 3 seconds. Shock. Denial. Anger. Then something that looked almost like respect? That's not, he started, but I held up a hand. Dude, I literally don't give a shit, I said, and the weird thing was, I kinda meant it. Here's the deal. You wanna use me to make her jealous? Fine. I'll play along. But I'm not some weepy little puppy who's gonna pine after you when this blows up. I'm getting something out of this too. He stared at me. What could you possibly want from this? OMG, she's negotiating? Who is this girl? This is not the doormat character we were promised. I'm actually invested now? WTF. I counted off on my fingers. 1. I get to make out with the hottest guy in school. 2. I get to see Bailey Thornton's face when she realizes you moved on. 3. When you inevitably dump me, I get to be the tragic heartbroken girl, which means everyone will feel sorry for me instead of treating me like a loser at college. Win-win-win. Chase's mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. He looked like a fish that just realized it was out of water. You're fucking insane, he finally said. Probably, I agreed cheerfully. So? Do we have a deal or what? He stared at me for another long moment, then slowly, a grin spread across his stupidly handsome face. You know what? Fuck it. Deal. We shook on it like we were closing a business transaction. The comments in my head were losing their goddamn minds. This is not how romance works. But like, I ship it? The chaos energy is off the charts. RIP original plot 2024 to 2024. That's how I ended up dating Chase Sterling for the summer between high school and college. And honestly, it was way more fun than I expected. First off, the dude was actually pretty cool when he wasn't trying to maintain his cool guy image. Turned out he was a huge nerd about classic cars and could talk for hours about engine specs and restoration projects. We spent our first official date at some car show, where he geeked out over a 1967 Mustang while I pretended to understand what a carburetor was. Why is this actually cute? No. No, no, no. We're not supposed to like them together. Too late, I'm rooting for them now. But guys, remember, he's gonna betray her and destroy her family's business. That last comment made me pause mid-bite of my overpriced hot dog. Right. The whole destroying my family thing. Hey, I said casually, what does your dad's company do again? Chase looked up from his phone. Sterling Industries? Real estate development mostly. Some tech investments. Why? My dad ran a small chain of bookstores, like actual physical bookstores, because he was stubborn and refused to adapt to the digital age. According to the comments, Sterling Industries was going to swoop in, buy up all the properties our stores were leased on, jack up the rent, and force us into bankruptcy. Also, Chase could prove to Bailey that he was serious about her by eliminating any threats to their relationship. Jesus Christ, rich people were psychotic. Just curious, I said with a shrug. My dad's always complaining about commercial real estate prices. Oh shit, she's fishing for information. Girl is strategic. Okay, I'm fully on her side now, original female lead can suck it. Chase didn't seem to notice anything off. Yeah, the market's crazy right now. My dad's been eyeing some properties downtown. Says there's gonna be a big development boom. Mental note, warn Dad about downtown properties. Maybe suggest he look into buying instead of leasing? I'd have to be subtle about it though. Dad was suspicious of any business advice from his baby girl. The next few weeks fell into a weird rhythm. Chase and I would meet up, do couple-wise shit like grab coffee or go to movies, and inevitably we'd run into people from school. The reactions were always priceless. Bailey Thornton's face when she saw us at the mall? Chef's kiss. She'd been there with her posse, because of course she traveled in a pack like some kind of designer-clad wolf, and nearly dropped her Starbucks when Chase slung his arm around my shoulders. Chase, she said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. I didn't know you were seeing anyone. Here we go. Cat fight. Cat fight. Bailey is shaking, she did not expect this. Yeah, well, Chase said, pulling me closer, things change. Bailey's eyes narrowed as she looked me up and down. I was wearing ripped jeans and an old band t-shirt, not exactly her style of designer everything. How nice, she said, the word coming out like she was chewing glass. I didn't realize you two even knew each other. Oh, we go way back, I said cheerfully, deciding to stir the pot. I mean, I'd been crushing on him for like 2 years. Finally wore him down, I guess. LMAOO, she's really going for it. Bailey looks like she's gonna have an aneurysm. This is better than reality TV. Chase squeezed my shoulder, and I could feel him trying not to laugh. Bailey's smile had gone rigid, like her face might crack if she moved it too much. Well, she said tightly, I hope you know what you're getting into. Chase can be difficult. Oh, I can handle difficult, I said with a grin. I'm kind of a pain in the ass myself. We left her standing there, fuming. Once we were out of earshot, Chase burst out laughing. Holy shit, he gasped, did you see her face? I thought she was gonna explode. Mission accomplished? I said, holding up my hand for a high five. He slapped it, still grinning. Mission fucking accomplished. Okay, but like, they have really good chemistry? I'm starting to think this isn't fake anymore. Chase is definitely catching feelings. Don't get comfortable. Remember the betrayal arc? That comment again. The betrayal arc. I needed to be smart about this. According to the peanut gallery in my head, the betrayal would come after Bailey finally broke down and begged Chase to take her back. He'd dump me immediately, and then to prove himself to Bailey, he'd convince his dad to go after my family's business. But here's the thing about knowing the future, you can change it. Dad, I said one evening, catching him in his home office, have you ever thought about diversifying? He looked up from his computer, reading glasses perched on his nose. Diversifying what, sweetheart? The business. Like, I know you love the bookstores, but what about? I don't know, e-commerce? Online sales? Maybe even some consulting work for other independent bookstores? Dad leaned back in his chair, studying me. This is about that Sterling boy, isn't it? Fuck. Dad was more perceptive than I gave him credit for. What? No. I just. Honey, I know his family's in real estate. And I know you're worried. He smiled gently. But you don't need to worry about the business. That's my job. Tell him the truth. Or at least drop some hints. Dad doesn't know he's a side character in a romance novel. Someone help him. Just, promise me you'll think about it? I said. Maybe talk to that lawyer friend of yours? Uncle Mike? About property stuff? Dad's expression shifted slightly. Did someone say something to you? About our leases? No. I said quickly. Too quickly. I've been reading about small businesses getting screwed over by big developers. I worry about you, that's all. You sound like someone who knows what they want but is scared to go for it, I said. There's a difference. He looked at me again, and there was something in his eyes that made my stomach do another flip. You're not what I expected, you know that? What did you expect? I don't know. Someone who'd just go along with everything. Play the part. But you, he reached over, tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. You call me on my bullshit. You make me think. You're. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and his whole expression changed. Bailey? I guessed. He nodded, jaw tight. She wants to talk. Here it comes. The betrayal arc begins. Girl, run. Save yourself. It's too late, she already caught feelings, look at her face. My heart was doing this painful squeezing thing, but I kept my voice light. Well, that's what we've been waiting for, right? Mission accomplished? Chase sat up, running a hand through his hair. Yeah, I guess so. We sat there in silence for a moment. The crickets were chirping. The stars were out. Everything was perfect and terrible at the same time. So, I finally said, forcing a smile, how are we doing this? Clean break? Messy public breakup? Give me the game plan, Sterling. He looked at me with this expression I couldn't quite read. I haven't, I need to think about it. What's there to think about? I stood up, brushing grass off my jeans. Bailey called. You answer. That's how this works. That's how it was always supposed to work. She's protecting herself. Smart move, but ow, that's gotta hurt. Why do I feel like crying? Because this sucks, that's why. Chase stood too. Wait. Just, wait. Can we talk about this? What's there to talk about? I kept my voice steady. You got what you wanted. Bailey's jealous. She wants you back. Congratulations. You win. It's not that simple, yeah, actually, it is. I started walking toward the gate. See you around, Chase. Where are you going? Home. This was fun and all. You sound like someone who knows what they want but is scared to go for it, I said. There's a difference. He looked at me again, and there was something in his eyes that made my stomach do another flip. You're not what I expected, you know that? What did you expect? I don't know. Someone who'd just go along with everything. Play the part. But you, he reached over, tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. You call me on my bullshit. You make me think. You're. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and his whole expression changed. Bailey? I guessed. He nodded, jaw tight. She wants to talk. Here it comes. The betrayal arc begins. Girl, run. Save yourself. It's too late, she already caught feelings, look at her face. My heart was doing this painful squeezing thing, but I kept my voice light. Well, that's what we've been waiting for, right? Mission accomplished? Chase sat up, running a hand through his hair. Yeah, I guess so. We sat there in silence for a moment. The crickets were chirping. The stars were out. Everything was perfect and terrible at the same time. So, I finally said, forcing a smile, how are we doing this? Clean break? Messy public breakup? Give me the game plan, Sterling. He looked at me with this expression I couldn't quite read. I haven't, I need to think about it. What's there to think about? I stood up, brushing grass off my jeans. Bailey called. You answer. That's how this works. That's how it was always supposed to work. She's protecting herself. Smart move, but ow, that's gotta hurt. Why do I feel like crying? Because this sucks, that's why. Chase stood too. Wait. Just, wait. Can we talk about this? What's there to talk about? I kept my voice steady. You got what you wanted. Bailey's jealous. She wants you back. Congratulations. You win. It's not that simple, yeah, actually, it is. I started walking toward the gate. See you around, Chase. Where are you going? Home. This was fun and all, but I'm not gonna stand around while you figure out how to let me down easy. I paused at the gate, looking back at him. For what it's worth. I hope you're happy with her. I really do. Liar. She's so not over him. This is gonna get so much worse before it gets better. I didn't wait for his response. I just left. The next few days were fucking miserable. Chase texted me like 50 times. I ignored all of them. I wasn't about to be that girl, the one who hung around hoping he'd change his mind. I knew how this story went. He'd get back together with Bailey, I'd be yesterday's news, and eventually, his dad would come after my family's business. But at least I'd gotten Dad to review our contracts. Uncle Mike had found some loopholes in our lease agreements and was already working on getting us better terms. So there was that. Still didn't make me feel any less shitty about the Chase situation though. She's spiraling. Someone give this girl ice cream and a hug. The male lead is also spiraling, by the way. Wait, what? I was in my room, stress-eating Cheetos and watching trashy reality TV, when my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Hi, is this speaking with the girl who's been sleeping with my boyfriend? I sat up so fast I almost choked on a Cheeto. Excuse me? This is Bailey Thornton. I think we need to have a chat. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Final boss encounter. Girl, hang up. Don't engage. No wait, this could be interesting. I swallowed the Cheeto. If you're calling to stake your claim, you're like a week late. We broke up. I know. Chase told me. Her voice was sickeningly sweet. I just wanted to call and let you know there's no hard feelings. You were just a placeholder. I'm sure you understand. My blood started boiling. A placeholder. Well, yes. I mean, Chase and I have been on and off since sophomore year. Everyone knows we're endgame. You were just a distraction. A momentary lapse in judgment on his part. Throw the phone. No wait, don't throw the phone. Drag her. Drag her. I took a deep breath. You know what, Bailey? You're absolutely right. I was a placeholder. Just like Chase is a placeholder for whatever daddy issues you're working through. Excuse me? I mean, the guy spent a whole month with me talking about how much pressure his dad puts on him. How he feels trapped. How he's tired of playing the perfect son. I was improvising now, but it felt good. And you're just another part of that perfect picture, aren't you? The right girlfriend from the right family. The one who looks good in photos. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't I though? Tell me, Bailey, does Chase actually love you? Or do you just love the idea of being with him? Because from where I'm sitting, you two are more like a business merger than a relationship. Oh snap. She went there. Emotional damage, critical. Bailey.exe has stopped working. There was silence on the other end of the line. Then, fuck you. She hung up. I stared at my phone, heart pounding. Then I burst out laughing. It was probably hysteria, but holy shit, that felt good. New development, female lead is rattled. Plot continuing to deviate from original trajectory. This is going to have consequences. Yeah, but it was so worth it. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Chase. Chase, did you just tell Bailey she has daddy issues? Me, maybe. Why, is she crying to you about it? Chase, she's furious. Chase, also, she broke up with me. Again. I stared at the screen. Plot twist. Nobody saw that coming. Well, except for me. I totally called it. Shut up, you did not. Me, so let me get this straight. She called me to gloat about getting you back, and then broke up with you? Chase, pretty much yeah. Chase, can we talk? Me, about? Chase, everything? Chase, please? I bit my lip, staring at those two messages. Every logical part of my brain was screaming at me to say no. To block his number. To protect myself. But here's the thing about fake relationships, sometimes they stop being fake and you don't even notice until it's too late. She's gonna say yes. Of course she's gonna say yes. We all saw this coming. Yeah, but we're still gonna watch anyway. Me, fine. Where? Chase, I'll pick you up in 20. He showed up in his car, that stupid expensive car that I'd made fun of when we first started this whole fake dating thing. I climbed in without a word. Where are we going? I asked. You'll see. We drove in silence for a while until we ended up at this overlook point outside town. The city lights sparkled below us, and the sky was full of stars. Dramatic much? I said, but my voice came out softer than I intended. Chase turned off the engine and shifted to face me. I need to tell you something. Here it comes. The big confession. Everyone shut up, this is it. Bailey and I. He started, then stopped. Ran a hand through his hair. We've been on and off for 2 years. And every time we get back together, I tell myself it's gonna be different. That we're gonna figure it out. But it's never different. We don't work. Okay, I said carefully. When I asked you out, when we made that deal, I told myself it was about making her jealous. About getting her back. But that's not. He looked at me, and fuck, those eyes. That's not what happened. My heart was trying to beat its way out of my chest. Chase. Let me finish. Please. He took a breath. You were right. What you said to Bailey about us being a business merger. That's exactly what it was. We looked good together. Our families approved. It was easy. But it wasn't real. Is this really happening? I think this is really happening. Don't get your hopes up. And this, us, he gestured between us. I know it started as fake. I know it was supposed to be a game. But somewhere along the way, it stopped being fake for me. You stopped being fake. I couldn't breathe. Literally could not breathe. I like that you call me on my bullshit, he continued. I like that you made me think about what I actually want instead of what everyone expects me to want. I like that you eat Cheetos and watch trashy TV and don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. He laughed, shaking his head. I like you. For real. Not fake. Not as a game. Just, you. Asked Vchkol. I can't breathe. This is the good stuff. But wait, what about the betrayal? The family business thing? That last comment was like cold water. Right. The business thing. Chase, I said slowly, I need to ask you something. Anything. Your dad's company. Sterling Industries. Are they planning to develop downtown? Like, the commercial district? He blinked, clearly not expecting that question. Yeah, I think so. Why? My dad's stores are all leased in that area. Understanding dawned on his face. Then anger. Are you fucking kidding me? My dad, he pulled out his phone, scrolling through something. That son of a bitch. He asked me about your family. About your dad's business. I thought he was just making conversation but... Oh shit. Papa Sterling is making his move. This is where it all falls apart. What did you tell him? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Nothing. I didn't, he looked up at me. Is that why you warned your dad? About the leases? I had a hunch, I said carefully. Not a lie, technically. Chase was quiet for a moment, then he laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. You know what? Fuck him. Fuck his company. Fuck his plans. Chase. No, seriously. I'm done. He was typing furiously on his phone now. I'm calling him out. Right now. Wait, what are you doing? Texting him that I'm going to college for environmental science, not business. And that if he goes after your dad's stores, I'll make sure everyone knows what a piece of shit he is. Holy shit. That's not how this was supposed to go. Male lead has gone OFF script. The story is completely derailed now. I grabbed his phone. Are you insane? That's your dad. Your family's company. A company I never wanted to be part of. He looked at me, and there was something fierce in his eyes. You made me realize that. You made me realize I don't have to be what he wants me to be. So yeah, I'm burning that bridge. Gladly. But. No buts. He took my face in his hands. I'm choosing me. I'm choosing what I want. And what I want is to study environmental science, piss off my dad, and, if you'll let me, actually date you. For real this time. I'm not crying, you're crying. This is the best thing I've ever seen. Character development, complete. I stared at him, this stupidly handsome, infuriating, wonderful guy who'd just decided to blow up his entire life plan because I'd made him think about what he actually wanted. You're really fucking dramatic, you know that? I said. He grinned. Learned from the best. And then I kissed him. Not because I was trying to steal a taste before the story ended. Not because I was playing a part. But because I wanted to. Because this, us, was real. When we finally broke apart, both of us were breathless and grinning like idiots. So, Chase said, is that a yes? On one condition, I said. Name it. You actually stand up to your dad. Not just a text. Face to face. Tell him you're going your own way. He nodded. Deal. And if he tries to mess with my family's business, we fight back. Together. Absolutely. This is the greatest redemption arc ever. I take back everything bad I said about the male lead. So they're actually gonna make it? Looks like it. But what about Bailey? As if on cue, my phone buzzed. I glanced at it, then burst out laughing. What? Chase asked. I showed him the text. It was from Bailey. Bailey, I hope you're happy. You ruined everything. Should I respond? I asked. Chase smirked. Nah. Let her stew. Petty. I love it. Bailey has left the chat. Good riddance. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. Chase actually did confront his dad. It was messy and loud and resulted in Chase moving out of his parents' house and into a shitty apartment near campus. But he seemed happier than I'd ever seen him. His dad tried to retaliate by going after my family's stores anyway, but here's the thing, Uncle Mike had already found those loopholes. We'd renegotiated our leases with better terms and locked them in for 5 years. Sterling Industries' hostile takeover plan fell apart before it even started. Karma is a beautiful thing. David, 1, Goliath, 0. Everyone liked that. Chase's little sister, Emma, loved me, which was possibly the best thing about our relationship going public. She was 8 and obsessed with dinosaurs, and we spent hours at the Natural History Museum while Chase geeked out over environmental exhibits. You're good with her, Chase said one afternoon, watching me and Emma debate whether T-Rex or Velociraptor was cooler. She's a cool kid, I said with a shrug. My parents never really got her. Too much work, you know? But you just. He smiled. You just treat her like a person. The wholesome content we deserve. Why am I emotional about dinosaurs? Because this is real, that's why. Fall rolled around, and Chase and I ended up at different colleges, him at UC Berkeley for environmental science, me at a state school about 3 hours away. Long distance was gonna suck, but we'd made it work over the summer. We could make it work, period. The night before we both left for school, we went back to that overlook point. You know, I said, leaning against his car, when this all started, I never thought it would end like this. With you getting the guy? Chase asked, wrapping his arms around me from behind. With me getting the guy who became a better person, I corrected. That's the real plot twist. She's not wrong. Character growth, both of them. This is what we call a satisfying ending. I've been meaning to ask, Chase said. That first day, when I asked you out, you hesitated. Like you knew something. What was that about? I tensed. How the hell was I supposed to explain the comment system in my head? Just a feeling, I said carefully. Like I knew it was gonna be complicated. Was it worth it? The complication? I turned in his arms to face him. What do you think? He kissed me, soft and sweet and full of promise. I think I'm really fucking glad you grabbed my collar that day. They're gonna make it. Against all odds. Because she said fuck the script. And he said fuck the expectations. And they both chose chaos. God, I love a good love story. As we stood there, wrapped up in each other under the stars, I realized the comments in my head had gotten quieter. Less insistent. Like the story had accepted that we'd gone off script and there was no going back. Good. I never wanted to follow someone else's story anyway. Hey, I said, pulling back to look at Chase. Promise me something? Anything. Promise me we'll keep choosing the complicated thing. The real thing. Even when it would be easier to just follow the script. He smiled, that genuine smile that I'd fallen for somewhere between fake dates and real feelings. I promise. Fuck the script. Fuck the script, I agreed. And they lived messily ever after. The end? No wait, this better not be the end. There better be a sequel. 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 I laughed, pressing my face into Chase's shoulder. The comments could speculate all they wanted. But this? Us? This was our story now. And we were gonna write it our fucking selves.